Pan Africa think tank, the deputy convener of the Caribbean Africa think tank, and also a program officer communications working with empowering and for excellence initiatives here in Nigeria. And EWAI is the host of the Caribbean Africa think tank. And with me here is the convener, Safiya, DTRF, and my colleague, Coach Brown. And we also have our guest speaker, Khalipha Ahmad Haliru, is the executive director of TinT Follow Taxes. We call them Transparency Africa. And also we have Anas Belhassin. Anas is also a YCF of the Kebede Youth Country Focal. And we also have Tata, a Youth Country Focal from Cameroon, and Anas from Tunisia, correct? Oh, apologies. Anas is from Algeria. Also have Michael Jones, Angela Amode, and Tibu Conde. So without wasting much time, I think we should dive straight into the topic of the conversation. And today we are going to look at leveraging media and digital tools for effective advocacy. We all know that a whole ton of people are online today, and if you want to meet or reach out to a wider audience, you can easily do that leveraging on digital media tools like the social media and a lot of other tools like that. So this made advocacy so much easy, and it is so cost effective that you will reach a wider audience counting in millions within a short period of time compared to if you are using cable TV or if you are using radios or newspaper or all those sort of means of communications. So the version on digital media makes it quite easy, and you could easily access stakeholders both in the government and in the private sector. You could easily access them via their social media platforms or by merely sending them emails to connect with them, and you could get your response easily. A very good scenario of leveraging data media in advocacy is the EndSARS protest in Nigeria. It was widely recognized, internationally recognized, that international media and a lot of other state and non-state actors picked interest in the EndSARS protest, and it has a personalized hashtag on Twitter where all these conversations were being streamlined and were being pulled together on a thread simply using hashtag. Once you type on Twitter EndSARS, you will easily see conversation relating to that particular advocacy. So it's more like a digital process that gathered a lot of momentum internationally, and at the end of the day, the young people that came together to share that advocacy were able to arrive at a decision and were able to get something out of it. And that's just the power of digital media. Just imagine if they were using conventional or traditional tools like the TV, the newspaper, and probably if they are paying physical visit to all these stakeholders, they probably might not have listened to them or might not give them this audience, and they probably might not achieve this result. So that's such a good example of using data media in advocacy. So we'll learn more of this, and we'll learn from our speakers that are here with us today. And today we'll be listening from our convener, Safiya Garba, and then we'll also listen from our guest speaker, Khalipha Ahmad, and then we'll also listen to a case study from one of our youth country focus in Ethiopia, if I'm not mistaken, Nabon, Elias. So in our previous webinar, we discussed about power dynamics and mapping, how we'll be able to identify people that are in position of power during advocacy, how we'll map out these people, and the kind of approach we'll use in order to pass our advocacy messages to those people. Essentially, we'll share a link to the recording of the webinar in case someone has missed it, so that at least you'll fall back to it and bring yourself to speed on whatever we discuss. So without wasting much time, we'll hand over to Safiya for a brief about the topic of the conversation. And after that, we'll move to our guest speaker, Khalipha Haliru, Anas. So over to you, Safiya.
Hello, everyone. And thank you for joining us again for our March webinar. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Actually, Abdullahi has already kind of highlighted what we're talking about. In our work in policy advocacy, we would certainly be far behind if we did not use technology, digital tools to help us in our work. And as he mentioned, he talked about an example of one thing. And we know there are just so many topics around the world that we have seen trend on platforms like social media and others. And obviously, looking at statistics of how many people are online, it makes sense to use digital and media tools for advocacy. And we also know that the good thing about digital and media for advocacy is that it reaches a very wide audience. So it's not only policymakers it will reach. And that's why it's important to be creative when using it, because every time you send out a message, you should know who your audience is, who you're speaking to, and what the call to action is. So I want to encourage us to just sit back, listen, learn. We're all here to learn, exchange, and hear of great case studies and how that has been used, so that we can also apply some of the good practices to our work. So I'm going to hand it over back to Ladan.
Allow me to introduce Khalipha Haliru Anas, who is the executive director of Transparency and Accountability in Totality / Follow Taxes here in Nigeria. And he is a reformer. He works a lot around taxation, gender and inclusion, climate change, and a whole lot of that. So he's very much experienced in tax and using digital media in advocacy, because most of their advocacy, what they do in their organization, are more digitally related. So we are happy to have you here in our midst, and we're really excited to learn from you, Khalipha. So Khalipha, if you're ready, over to you.
Very good afternoon, everyone, and of course, I'm very happy to be here. I am Haliru Ahmad Khalipha. Sorry, I cannot open my video right now. Like Ladan said, I'm a little bit under the weather, but then I've already committed to speak at this event, and it was very necessary for me to. And secondly, I'm having a little bit of with my network, to my internet, my laptop, earlier I wanted to just to it's not really a new thing to most of us. If you're in this space, you must have, one way or the other, engaged directly or indirectly with advocacies around the social media. And I'm looking again with the demography of youth that are active on social media, tells us a lot around what the narrations would be like, in terms of the kind of messages we pull out to be able to the kind of crowd that we want. Then again, looking at a lot around governance, if we want to be able to engage youth in this governance spaces, for them to be active and be able to hold our government to account, we also need to be very intentional on messages on social media and media across board. There are certain kind of messages you would want to pull out to be able to get the attentions of the kind of demography of people you want to reach out to. For instance, if you want to reach out to government officials, there are ways that you would be able, you get to be able to reach out to them. So all of it's supposed to be things that we pay a lot of attentions to, in terms of reaching out to, in terms of how we reach out to how we reach out to the populace in general. And every social media platform has their own peculiarity on how you use it, in terms of communications and what have you. But then, yeah, just going to what I have here on my slide, particularly these presentations explore how media and digital tools can enhance advocacy efforts, particularly among youth by leveraging on social media, audio content, and other digital platforms. And other digital platforms, youth advocates can raise awareness, mobilize support, and drive influence within their communities. And then the first component I have here, I don't know, Ladan, wait, can you? Sorry, 1 minute. Can you see what I shared? I don't know if you can share your screen for me.
Yeah, I received it. The technical team is working on that.
Okay. All right. So the first component I have here, it's the social media itself. Social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagrams allows youth to share informations, organize events, and engage in discussions. These platforms facilitate rapid disseminations of messages and helps create communities around share causes. Young advocates can utilize targeted campaigns to reach large audiences more effectively. For examples of this event are, just like Ladan mentioned earlier, and of course our convener about NSAS. These are some of the key advocacies that was done around social media. The NSAS movement. We had the Secure Not movement. We had the Bad Governance Youth movement. And currently, there's a challenge going on social media. It's called the 30 Days Challenge. This 30 Days Challenge speaks volumes around is and how better the government could tackle most of these issues. So these are some examples of campaigns that was done that have created a lot of buzzes and that have created a lot of change. Around the social media. And there's one other thing with social media. It's a form of education. Yeah. And the idea is, if we did not invest a lot in educating, especially the youth, on the right mediums to use the social media, another set of people could take the advantage of their ignorance and teach them how to use the social media the other way around. So it is very, very important for us as advocates, beyond them using this social media as a platform to be able to advocate for their right and be able to push for movements. We also are supposed to be able to create initiatives, targeted initiatives, to be able to uh, intentionally teach the youth on the right medium to use social media and how they could use social media to their advantage. Because if we do not do that, another group of people might use their ignorance and teach them how to use the social media the other way around. The most one thing that is certain is either we teach them the good way, or someone else will use the opportunity to teach them the bad way, because social media is here to stay. So it's just best for us to leverage on it. And if you check, for instance, with even Boko Haram, for instance, it's someone else use the ignorance of most of these people and teach them and show them that this is the best way for you to be able to agitate for your right, or sort of. If, for instance, there are better education systems in those spaces, in those states, or in those communities.
It's obvious Khalipha is really battling with network. Well, I'm very sure he will fall back. But unfortunately, it looks like network has kicked him out. So it's coming back.
Hello, please, can anyone hear me? Sorry, I had a glitch with my network.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's okay.
Okay, so sorry. So like I was saying, someone else took the advantage of these people and taught them that that is the best way. If for a lot of reasons governors have moved to those spaces and be able to, and they have good education system, and they've already understood how best, to handle these situations. A lot of time we wouldn't have been here. So beyond and all of that, it is very essential that we invest in teaching young people how to use social media the right way. And we were in a convention around last year. Someone said that the best way to put good information in the social media is to invest in good information, because even the social media itself is, you could see a lot of misinformations and a lot of misinformations in the space. So it is also on us to make sure that we push for content that are educational, we put for content that are that will be of help to especially the youth populations. Yeah, please, the next slide. So some of other platforms that we have here is podcasts and audio content. Podcasts provide a unique opportunity for storytelling and deep discussions on advocacy issues. Youth can create and share their perspectives through audio content, reaching audience who prefer listening over reading. These mediums allows for in-depth coverage of topics, interviews with experts, and personal narratives that resonate with listeners. Wide range of topics such as relationships, religions, politics, music, lifestyles, health, and governance. With podcasts, you can be free to be able to create your content however you see fit, depending on the kind of messages you want to pull out. If you want to pull out issues around relationships, or issues around religion, or issue around politics, and of course even looking at advocacies around what we do. Of recent, looking at how grossing TikTok is, a lot of organizations are really leveraging on creating podcast as one of the means to be able to reach a wider range of people, especially the youth. So podcasts and audio content are all is especially with this with the kind of revolutions we are having currently on the social media. This is a very, very strong platform that youth could also leverage on. Then another platforms youth could leverage on. Then number two, after social media, number two, we have digital advocacy tool. Now, these digital advocacy tools, they are online petition platforms that enable youth to gather support for their causes quickly and efficiently. Service like change.org or petition.org allows youth to advocate, to create petitions, share them widely, and track progress for their campaigns. This platform not only provides tools for mobilizing grassroots movement, but also engage supporters in activisms by making their voices heard. So on this kind of platforms, you see platforms created, for instance, change.org. These are petition platforms where you use these platforms to gather momentums and gather petitions on a certain cause that you want. So this is also a very strong tool for advocacy, for digital advocacy. So if youth could also leverage on this, it will go a lot around airing their view and also to be able to gather momentum. And also it also helps them track their progress across board. Please, at any point, if you cannot hear me, let me know, so that I will. Yeah, thank you. And another medium is also through emails and newsletters. Emails and newsletters are powerful tool for advocacy and outreach. Youth youth organizations can use emails marketing to keep supporters informed about campaigns, events, and achievements. By creating engaging newsletters, advocates can build a loyal followers and encourage consistent involvement in their initiatives. Moreover, emails allows for more personalized communications, reaching individuals directly with tailored messaging. With emails and newsletters, you get to be able to update your audience periodically. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could even be quarterly, for them to have a grasp about what you're currently doing and how your movement, that however your movement is, how the movement you're creating is. Or if you have an organization, you want to be able to update your founders of currently what you're doing through your newsletters. Or if you have an organization, again, you could also be able to update the populace in general about what you're doing and how you're doing those things through emails and newsletters. Newsletters could be shared through emails, they could be shared even on our social media platforms. And sometimes newsletters are also shared even through WhatsApp platforms and and other social media platforms. Then one other tool that is also very, very effective is data visualization tools. Now, data visualization tools helps youths advocate to communicate complex information in an accessible and engaging manner. Platforms like Data Wrapper, Google Charts, and infograms enables the creations of charts, graphs, and infographics that strictly present data related to advocacy issues. Effective visual storytelling can enhance the impact of messages, making the informations more digestible and compelling for broader audience. With digital visualizations, it helps complex data. For instance, you have budget. You have the government budget for the year. You can pick up that budget and turn it into an infograph for easily accessibility. You can even go further to even make the turn the infographics into local language, just for people to be able to easily relate to the data. Because if you look at budget is always very complex, but then if you're able to pull up this data, use data visualization tools to be able to simplify those data, it will be easy for people to be able to relate with the data and also be able to engage the data and be able to ask the right questions with the data. And if you go to slide 11, you could see it's just graphical representations of what a digital digital tools are. This is just a demo, a research that was turned into just a pager graphics, where you could just be able to have an idea of what everything is at a glance. And this kind of data can also be broken down into smaller pieces, just for people to be able to access it better, for people to be able to understand it better and be able to relate with it better. Because at the end of the day, the reason why you do all of these things is for people to be able to relate with it and ask the right questions afterwards. So now, conclusively, in summary, leveraging media and digital tools is essential for effective advocacy, particularly among youth. By utilizing various platforms and tools, young advocates can engage more effectively, mobilize supporters, and drive meaningful change in their communities. And with this is the end of my presentation. I was told I have just 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you, and thank you for having me. I'm Haliru Ahmad Khalipha, the lead director of TinT Follow Taxes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khalifa Haliru. This is really very, very much insightful. And I believe we all learned a lot from this presentation, particularly some of the key takeaways from this presentation is that if we don't teach the young generation how to use social media ethically, some people will use their ignorance, they will leverage on their ignorance and teach them how to use it in the wrong way. And imagine having the future generation teaching, growing up with the wrong mindset of using the social media. Imagine how rapidly our population is growing, particularly in Nigeria and Africa. And imagine this set of people now are having the leverage, the power to just jump in on social media, create account, and just start posting whatever they want to post. Imagine there are no regularizations. Imagine there are no policies that actually monitor the usage of social media and how ethically young people and the next generation should be using social media. So it is high time for us to take it as part of our advocacy to always take in account what the young future generation are actually looking at us posting on our various social media platforms and how we want them, our children, our younger ones, how we want them to be using this platform. Khalipha made a very good example with the Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria and particularly West Africa. And these people also are using leveraging on tools like the social and digital media to like carry their messages out there. So if these people are not really educated on how ethically to use this platform, they will end up actually polarizing the social media or the internet space at large. And other some key takeaways is that mostly whenever we're talking about digital advocacy, we used to think, or people used to think that digital advocacy is just limited to using social media or using digital media to pass message. But not just social media, not just Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, not just that. You have emails, you have newsletters as a means of communication. And one other important tool that Khalipha shared with us is data visualization. You can easily visualize a whole large ton of data in just one single visual that someone can just look at it, and at a glimpse you will be able to understand what you really are talking about and the message you are trying to pass. So this is really insightful, and thank you so much, Khalipha, for sharing with us. We really do appreciate, and we'll definitely share the slides. We'll definitely share Khalipha's slide with everyone that's registered to receive it in your various emails. We thank you so much. Khalipha is really under the weather, but he also find a way to join us on this webinar, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much, Khalipha. So we will move to the next session with Nabon Elias that will share a case study on how she used digital media in her advocacy. Nabon is an expert trainer and consultant with over 9 years of experience delivering and managing training programs for both local and international organizations. So Nabin, without wasting much time, over to you. So
hello, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you. And how's everything with you? Thank you so much for this opportunity to share my experience with you. So I'm going to start my presentation with a brief introduction of myself. My name is Nabon Elias Kebede. I've been studied industrial engineering. So I had a quality and productivity improvement MSc, and also production engineering and management. And I'm a trainer and consultant. Currently, I'm working as a project manager. So I've been working as a Kaizen consultant on a project capacity development for Kaizen implementation, for quality and productivity improvement, competitiveness enhancement. And I've been working as a score expert trainer in delivering training and consultancy for garment, textile, horticulture, plastics, agro processing industries, with collaborating with ILO Ethiopia. And I've been training and mentoring on women leadership development program in regional industrial parks with the ILO Ethiopia. And also I've been working as project manager or score expert in delivering training of trainers and supporting training of enterprise on the project to conduct score training of trainer sessions and provide technical support to ILO partners and new trainers. And also have consulting and even training for as a short trainer, sustainable resilient enterprise training for a local firm. So this is a brief introduction of mine. You can go to the next slide, please. So the advocacy challenge I was working on with industries, enterprises face so many challenges. There are one pillar of development goals. So they, even though they are a pillar, they face many challenges. They face operational and financial challenges in their sector. They've got lack of skilled workforce in SME, and there are also women leadership development gaps in the industries. So firms face operational challenges like inefficiencies, supply chain distributions, workforce issues, and also occupational safety and hazard risks. They face such operational risks, and financial challenges include cash flow constraints, data management, profitable pressures. They face such a challenge. So employees, customers, investors, and shareholders, regulatory bodies are these bodies are affected by these operational and financial challenges. So when we come to the lack of skilled workforce in SME, most of the time, young generations or young female and male workers are engaged in this SME. So they face SMEs face struggle to find and retain these skilled workers, so leading to low productivity, inefficiencies, and limited innovations. So here in the SMEs, factors such as inadequate training are there, brain drain, and talent competition with large firms are the issues. So this skill gap affects the business growth and competitiveness. So SME owners and managers, employees, customers, economy are affected by this challenge. So boosting productivity, improving competitiveness, ensuring business growth are very important to take as an action. And the other one is the women leadership development. So here, the problem is most of the time, especially in garment and horticulture areas, women are working as a frontline workers. They are not engaging in the leadership area. So despite this progress, women still face barriers in accessing leadership positions across various sectors. So this challenge include gender bias, lack of mentorship, limited access to network and development. So it's very difficult to manage or to develop this sector without their support or without leveraging their leadership skills. So women are affected by this problem. Also, the organization miss their leadership perspective, and also the society will be affected by underrepresentation or underrepresenting women here. So why it's important? It's very important to promote gender equality, enhance organizational performance, and empower future generation. Next slide, please. Okay, so when we come to the using media and digital tools, in my advocacy effort, I have utilized online training for the trainers, for the employees, for the management, and also consulting within weeks, within 2 weeks or monthly. If the thanks to the COVID, we all learned how to use these virtual tools properly to address our issues. So one of online training is one of a good tool to get engaged with the customers and trainers. So this platform has provided a flexible and accessible way to share knowledge. So, however, the engagement is not consistent. I will share that later. So these platforms have provided a flexible and accessible way to share knowledge, raise awareness, and facilitate real-time communication with clients, with trainers, with trainees, and also stakeholders. Next slide, please. So when we see specific tools that have been used by my experience, there were virtual events to train, to consult, and also sharing documents with stakeholders and clients, with using Telegram channels, using WhatsApp, and using emails, and also social media campaigns like YouTube, Facebook. I've been sharing my progresses using these digital tools. Still, there are challenges through using this what we call digital tools. So the engagement has not always been consistent. Consistency is very important in here. But while I deliver training or consulting sessions, these are every time I do that, I'm not sharing my progress consistently. So I recognize the need for a more structured and regular approach to better foster ongoing engagement and maximize impact. So the biggest challenge is not leveraging and exploiting as needed. Every time we do something or we engage in something, we're not leveraging this media or digital tools as it's needed. Next slide, please. So the impact of the efforts from this advocacy or development is there are many employees trained by us. So there are many female, male employees, managers have gotten this my consultancy and training service, and the impact has been the problem-solving culture and skills are developed. Skills of problem-solving, skills of leadership has been improved. Workplace safety is enhanced. They use safety tools. They use safety equipment to guard themselves, and also they have safety thoughts in their working area. Wastage reduction. Clients suffered. By the way, clients suffered from SMEs that they don't get quality products. So waste reduction is one of the proper way of optimization is the proper way of production process. And the other one is additional job created and improved income. The enterprises get profitable and they share their income as an incentive and as a growth of their employees. The other one is process visibility and improved communication. Communication between employees, communication between management has been improved. So this is very, very important, the impact of what we made. And the other one is skilled and capable young females are promoted to higher level. As I mentioned before, young females are not doesn't get access to the higher level of management. So this is one of the impact we've made. So by doing this advocacy using digital tools, we increased engagement, we expand reach, and I build awareness of key issues. So here, the key learnings are consistency is a key. Leverage multiple platforms is very important because participants, every platform has its own way of communicating. So this is very important to know your target. And the other one is importance of community building. Building community is very important to know who is following us and what we and it's important to know what we are delivering to the community. And the other one is regular interaction is very important. Platform selection is very important, and measure success of our advocacy is very important. Next slide, please. Okay, when we come to the conclusion and takeaways from my experience, digital tools can amplify advocacy. So using digital tools like online training, consulting, and platforms such as Telegram, WhatsApp, and Facebook, these are significantly expand their reach of advocacy efforts and allowing for real-time communication and wider audience management. This is very important. The other one is consistency, enhance impact. This is where I lack and I have to improve this. While digital platforms offer flexibility, maintaining a consistent persistence, a regular engagement is very important to sustain the momentum and building trust with audience, so they can get your information in a consistent basis, so you're not going to disappear anymore. And the other one is personalized communication, foster stronger relationships. So this direct, personalized communication using those platforms helped in building stronger, more trusted in relationship with clients and participants. So making the advocacy efforts feel more impactful. So personal communication foster is very, this is our more important. The other one is leveraging multiple platforms. So as I mentioned before, each platform have their own purposes. So utilizing these different tools for specific objectives is very important to get our target and for us to get into or use of effective strategy. So this is what I have for today. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Nabon. This is really insightful. Nabon, as a consultant, was able to leverage on digital media to close the gap in our consultancy services, offering online trainings and consulting services and reaching out to clients using the power of social media. We all know that when COVID-19 struck, there were no physical interaction between organizations, and that puts a hold to a lot of advocacy activities and a lot of consultancy activities and a lot of business activities globally. However, realizing the opportunity that is in the use of digital tools, people started like falling back to online meeting platform, and that is where platforms like Zoom gained momentum, and a lot of people started using it widely, and that has closed the gap and has taught people and organizations how to minimize costs by just leveraging on digital media to carry on their various other activities. Nabon was also able to slide all other social media platforms and platforms like YouTube and Facebook to update her plans. And one important thing that Nabon mentioned is consistency. Like you are dealing with people that do not physically know you when you are working on digital media. So it is very, very much important to be consistent. That consistency builds trust. And when you build trust, then people will easily understand and relate to whatever you are engaging or dropping out there on your various digital tools. But when there is no consistency, you will just fall back after 3-4 months and just drop an update and go. Definitely that line of trust will be difficult to build. So thank you so much, Nabon, for sharing with us your case story. We really appreciate and we're really excited to have you here with us. So while we're asking questions, I will hand over to Safiya.
Thank you, Ladan. I have a question to ask everyone, actually, and we will also be taking our session satisfaction survey so that we can get the feedback on the session. And my question is, and we were talking about this just yesterday, that how do we get around, I mean, we all have ideas, but how do we get around this problems of telecommunication problems, internet, quality of internet, cost of internet, to be able to use digital platforms for our work? Because ideally, for maybe something like this, we would have had a nice breakout room or breakout rooms, have further discussions or other, during our projects. But we are challenged by this internet issue across many nations. I don't know if it's just certain nations, but I know, some are better than others. So are there any ideas, Nabon? I don't know if Khalipha is still here. Any suggestions for us? And while we're answering, we'll just launch the survey at the same time.
Okay. Can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay. So in my case, most of the time, as you mentioned, this internet issue is very challenging. Most of the time, power is interrupted. So when power is interrupted, the internet gets lost, and it's very difficult to return back to the meeting, to the breakout room. So it's very challenging. Yeah, I faced this many times. In today, thanks to KATT, there is no electricity breakdown. So most of the time, it's better to keep yourself ready for that place, because here in Ethiopia, it's very challenging to get sustainable or consistent electricity power. So it's important to get ready yourself to get into that internet connection. So and also it's very important to consider as per your usage of your internet connection. For example, in my work, it's very important to have a good quality of internet, because I train. I get training with using internet. I consult and I conduct many meetings with it. So it's very important to check and use high quality internet package. So I think this is what I get ready yourself and use good quality of internet. So always get ready to use that plan B part. You don't have to stick to plan A part, so you have to have a plan B. We know that we have this problem, so we have to face this problem, or we have to overcome this challenge using this stuff. Yeah, I think this is my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabon. Yeah, definitely. We need to be prepared because we already know our landscape, right? So I think I'm even thinking that maybe further on in the year, or who knows, it might be part of what we will do through the fellowship if we get the support we need to actually raise this as a big issue across the continent, because it also kind of stifles opportunities for not just young people, but for anyone, and even for people to learn and so on. So who knows, maybe that's one thing we would like to kind of really raise. And I know there are lots of programs around digital literacy and so on, but what about the tools we need for that, So thank you for sharing that. We're waiting for you to please complete. We're a minute or two away since we started at 4:05, I think. Well, 2:05 for the Nigerian folks. So we have 4 out of 11 respondents to the session satisfaction. You want to tell us how satisfied you are with the content, with the delivery of the session as well. And also, again, around it's so timely that we're asking this question. Ladan even raised it, that how easy is it for people to jump on Zoom for a call? You know, you're on a call and people are jumping in and out, in and out. And it's not because they want to do that. It's because of the quality of their network and of their internet. And I know how many fights I've had with the team when we have a meeting and they cannot join on time. And the reason is the quality of what we're getting. So waiting for more to please answer. So far we have 4. That's just 36% of people on the call. Yes, it's coming up. You're coming up. Well done. And as soon as we're done with that, we'll be closing. We're just waiting. While you're waiting, we're waiting for us to complete the survey. Announcements include that on Friday, the last Friday as usual of the month, which is the 28th of March, we have the General Assembly, the Youth Country Focals General Assembly. That is at 4 p.m. Nigerian time. So please check for your time, what 4 p.m. Nigerian time or West African time is in your time zone. We'll have our General Assembly there. We only have 50% of participants that have completed the survey. So just waiting for a few more to complete that. Any other announcements? Uche, Ladan, anyone else? Just 50% of us have completed the survey. Do you have any other announcements?
Another thing is the county issues with Mark that we are supposed to discuss. I will share the link for those of us that have not gone to the survey. We'll share a link to the county issue with Mark. We are collecting surveys, a very quick one about issues we are facing in our various countries, which is part of what we are discussing currently. I'll drop the link on the chat box for us to access.
So yes, the country issue mapping that we are undertaking, it's ongoing now, and we'll still talk a bit more about it on Friday, but Ladan will be sharing the link in the chat, and we really need responses across all nations. So our Ethiopian ladies who are with us, we want to see it. And I'm thinking, Ladan, we should actually disseminate it more just across generally, so that we can support and supplement the efforts of our youth country focals. So 54% have completed. Yeah,
that's a good idea to do.
Yeah, let's do that and boost it as well, and then you can encourage people in your country to complete it. We have 30 seconds to leave, just waiting for you to complete the session satisfaction survey. We have the country issue survey in English and Arabic currently. We're working on the French, and it will get done as soon as possible. Just waiting for the rest of us to complete the survey. We have 6 out of 11, 54%. We usually like a threshold of 70-something%, 75, for a good sample size for our sessions, our surveys. So in the chat, you can see the country issue survey for English and for Arabic. French is on its way. We'll get it done shortly. Okay. So just waiting for at least one more person to complete the survey, and then we will be done, because we are over our 1 hour now. Okay. All right. So let me say thank you and for joining us today. Looking forward to the April webinar, and of course Friday for our Youth Country Focals, 4 p.m. West African time. And please just keep looking out for different opportunities, trainings, all kinds of things are going on. and really proud of you for being part of this movement. And thank you to the team behind the scenes, and see you soon. Bye.